Okay, welcome to Overtime with the host of CNN's Smirconish and SiriusXM's The Michael Smirconish Program, Michael Smirconish, and she's a Republican congressman from South Carolina, running for governor in 2026, Nancy Mace. Okay. These are from the people. The people want to know, what do you think of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth Pete Hegseth is summoning hundreds of generals and admirals to Washington. I heard 800 of them from around the world are being summoned to Washington. No one knows why.
800 generals called into D.C. is unusual. The lack of explanation leaves people unsettled. The public deserves to know whether this is a routine coordination or something more significant.
I don't know why people are so unsettled about this. Truly, if it were a corporate CEO saying, I want to have the leadership come together for a skull session, nobody would care. I read those stories very carefully. Like, what the hell am I missing here? I don't get it. The concern.
I love that. That's sensible, because I read it and I think I got scared because they wanted me to be scared. Like, what? Oh my God, what's going on here? Is he going to, it's going to like Braveheart? He's going to get them all in the thing and burn the thing.
I want to be able to work with our allies and be strong and have peace in the world. This is a great idea.
I've never heard anybody doing this, but yeah, maybe it's nothing. But you got to admit, there's a reason why we're a little suspicious about some of the stuff that goes on with this administration, because they don't know about norms, they don't care about laws.
True.
Well, but also Reagan, peace through strength. I mean, showing strength around the world by having these generals come together, I think is a good thing.
The only legitimate concern that I've heard so far, and Nancy knows more about this than I will, is if the government shuts down, there's some concern that some of these folks will get stranded in the nation's capital. I don't know.
Well, potentially. They're actually canceling congressional delegations, I heard, like right now, this weekend, because of a potential government shutdown.
On that subject, let me just throw this in there then, about being not too partisan when you hear about stuff. I was reading a lot about this week, TikTok. Now, TikTok looks like it's getting sold. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are very upset about this. Like, now it's going to be Oracle who's going to own a lot of it. And it's, more plutocrats owning things in America. But it seems like it was the same people who were saying the Chinese cannot own this company. So what do you want? Do you want Americans to own it or don't? Because who did you think was going to buy it? Mom and pop?
Well, here's the fact. I mean, over the last year and a half, Oracle already basically housed all the data here in the U.S. There was no backdoor way for China to get in, but Oracle has had this data. They have firewalled this data. So there's really not much of a difference between now and a year ago.
I'm concerned about who controls the algorithm. I thought the conversation with Aiden was terrific tonight, and I'm really worried that too many young men in particular are getting bad messages.
The algorithm shapes what millions of young people see every day, and the influence raises real concerns. It's less about who owns TikTok and more about whether the technology itself is being used responsibly.
From being locked into a bad algorithm.
But if the choice is between an American company and China, the Chinese government...
Theoretically, it was a national security concern that began this whole process.
That's what I'm saying.
So I don't know that you have the national security concern with Larry Ellison that you would with Xi.
Well, my bigger concern is we have apps in the App Store that China has done, that Iran has done, that Russia has done. So TikTok isn't the only risk. We have a lot of risk in the App Store. We're not addressing the actual national security problem. We just took one target, one company, and vilified it. And we're not actually fixing the overall problem about what data or what adversarial country might have access to our data or use algorithms to harm American citizens.
Okay. And by the way, the younger generation will be thanking Trump for be the one for saving TikTok.
Yeah.
So, your evil laugh. Okay.
I thought that was funny.
All right. Here's one for your evil laugh, Nancy. Why haven't the Epstein files been released in full?
Congress is setting a timeline for the release of the Epstein files is significant, but until documents are actually made public, skepticism is understandable. People want accountability, not more delays.
Give it 3 weeks. So
3 weeks?
Yeah. So the 218th signature will happen next week, I believe, when there's a special election. That person, when they get sworn into office next week, will sign the discharge petition where we will be at 218. I am a signature on there. Once we get back in session the first week of October, the discharge petition has to cure for 7 days once you have 218 signatures, and then we expect a vote probably the third week of October.
And Trump doesn't get mad at you for doing this for...
I haven't been threatened.
Right.
I mean, you know, and I'm a...
Well, let's see.
There's still time. There's still time.
I know. I mean, good for you.
Yeah.
But, I mean, do you really think there's something we don't know? I mean, I just feel like it's Al Capone's vault. I just feel like what do you think we're going to find out? That the whole world was really in a pedophile ring? That every rich person was doing this? I think we know what it was. I've said this many times. When a guy has a lot of money and you don't really know where that money came from, he's a pimp. He's a pimp. He's some kind of a pimp. He connects nerdy guys with girls. You know, Bill Gates cannot be, you know, I'm not saying he did anything, but I'm not saying he didn't do anything. I mean, why was he so interested in a guy like Epstein?
To Nancy, to Representative Mace's credit, I mean, it takes, what, 4 Republicans to make this happen, and she's one of them, and I think that's great. Yeah, sure. But, you know, for the detractors of the president, who I think have their fingers crossed that he's going to show up in all of this and there's going to be, it's not who he is. You know, is he someone who appreciates beautiful women? Yes, but I just don't think there's ever a part of what makes him tick. So
and even
that's
the
not happening.
Epstein victims have stated that he had no part in it, and I've met with him privately. He had no part in it, and they've exonerated him. So that's not what this is about.
But having said that, I don't know why he's handled, for example, the Wall Street Journal. You knew we were going to get a look at that goofy cartoon sooner or later. So why fight it and why sue the Journal? I don't get that.
Well, the thing that pisses me off about the whole birthday card story is, like, that's a birthday card. Nobody gives a fuck. Like, what about the victims? What about the women who've been fighting for 30 years for justice and they don't have it? And all the media wants to do is talk about, all the media wants to do is talk about Trump. I'm like, these women have been fighting. They're in their 50s, late 40s. They're my age. Have been fighting for 30 years. And it's like, we want to show them that they're going to get justice. That's what this is about. And I want the media to write about their stories. They are horrific. They are terrible. And you can't tell me that only one person was an accomplice in a sex trafficking ring with over 1,000 girls.
This is an important reminder why headlines focus on politics. The victims have waited decades for justice. 1 or 2 convictions doesn't explain how a trafficking network operated at that scale.
Didn't happen. There was way more than that. And those people that were involved, those predators, those child rapists, they need to be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. I don't care if it's a prince in England. I don't care. Go to jail, cold, dark cell.
At the end of the day, these issues, military transparency, data security, and justice for victims, matters across party lines. The real question is whether those in power will follow through. If you want to stay updated as these stories unfold, make sure to subscribe and join the conversation in the comments below.